yes. Alright, we should be working now. Copacetic. Is that a word? Copacetic? Alright, man. We should be back on YouTube. Yeah, we're back. Man, my battery went dead. I had it plugged into a plug-in out here, and that damn plug-in didn't even work. Something else to fix. So as we were saying, if you're on YouTube, you can go back and watch the beginning. We were talking about the money flow is a fractal pattern. And what the purpose of the money flow is to bring order to chaos. And so that's all it's trying to do. But it's based upon a couple basic premises that, one, that price moves in a repeatable pattern. Now, it doesn't mean it does it all the time. And I'll bring up some stocks that have kind of stopped what I call they don't money flow. They've stopped money flowing, meaning they're not flowing right. A lot of times they get locked up and they just kind of, move sideways, move down, move sideways, move down, and they're not really completing a money flow pattern. And that'll happen. And then sometimes they'll do them picture perfect, like you see here. And that's the reality of the market, is that it's unpredictable. Like, nobody really knows, because it's the collective mind of millions and millions and millions of people coming together to to try to understand. Hopefully you guys can hear me on YouTube. I assume you can. It's the collective mind of all these people coming together. Take that down. To try to make a decision. And so to try to interpret how a 22-year-old in China is going to respond to news by Uber is really hard to do. And so what the money flow gave me was this ability to, kind of make sense out of the chaos. And you could argue about indicators and, this guy uses VWAP and this guy uses that. And there are some indicators that lend themselves to particular time frames. So I'm trading, primarily 99% of the time, and I'll show you sometimes where I make an exception, and that's usually for IPOs. They need data, and I'll drop the time frame down to, say, a 1 hour chart. But the money flow is fractal, meaning it works on a 1 hour. And often the question I get all the time, as soon as I start to teach the money flow, people want to know if it'll do what they want it to do. Meaning, like, before they even learn it, they go, does this work with options? And it's like, bro, maybe I'm giving you something that's better than what you're doing, but you have to open your mind to fucking receive it, right? And so if you go through life immediately discounting information because it doesn't meet some preconceived thing that you have in your life, you're going to have a very hard time finding new things that could open up and be prosperous for you. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying close your mind or be stupid about it, but if you start to learn, like, just stop for, you'll see this a lot if you play a musical instrument. Maybe you're learning and the teacher says, hey, you need to move your hand down a little. Or if you're playing golf, they'll say, hey, you got to drop your shoulders a little. And you'll be like, well, what's that got to do with playing? Just shut up and drop your shoulders. All right? Don't go, well, this helped me on my blah, blah. No, just drop your shoulders and go through the process and learn. And that is, man, I'm telling you, that is essential. So as you come to the money flow, if each one of these is a day, and so if you look at this, this is May, June, July, August. That's a lot of time, dude. That's a whole summer vacation. Think about that, man, when you were in school, like summer. Like, this is almost an entire summer of school off, man, where it went from a stage one. This is like almost 2 weeks of buying in here. And then it broke out. And then it popped up, and then it went sideways for a week, and then it broke out, and then it went sideways for a week, and then it topped out. And think on that. Well, some of the basic, again, money flow has a lot of just things you have to just assume. And when we're looking, all these assumptions come from this pattern. So as we're looking at the pattern, we know that anything that's on this side and that it's going up, we call a stage 2. And so the money flow has been broke down into 4 stages. And it doesn't, and you'll see over here where it says best time to buy, best time to sell. Once you get past pure swing trading, I buy, I start taking it off, I get out. That's a pure swing trade. So if you look at the money flow here, you're going to see a circle to a circle. Well, that's a completed swing trade. And the guy may move in, start to move out, then he closes it out, and he avoids the ride down. And that is one way to trade the money flow. It's not the only way. So one thing that I'll meet guys and say, well, I'm a buy and holder. And I say, me too. My trading system will make you a better buy and holder. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, I can show you where the bottoms are. And you say, well, all of them? Yeah, all of them. I may not catch, maybe it may just be one bottom, right? Like maybe that wasn't the bottom, but I can show you a way to determine if it is the bottom. And every bottom will look the same. And you notice all I have on here right now is one moving average. And again, we said this is based on the past. They can't interpret the future, but what we can do, the government says, hey, past performance is not indicative of future results. I don't know about that. They say legally you have to say that. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, well, what the fuck is? If every time you did one thing, something happened, like causes produce like results. And so what I began to realize one day when all this came to me, I don't know how many courses I took, how many books I read. I'm doing 13 days. I'm doing this indicator, that indicator. I'm fucking plotting moon cycles. I'm flipping coins. I'm trying everything I can do to possibly try to find an edge. And as I sat there, one day it hit me as I'm watching this, that price moved like this. And it's not just this stock. This is just one I pulled up for the class. But and this will have all the indicators. This was the Dow, but watch this. Let's put on CSX trains. Now, remember what I said, sometimes things won't money flow very well. Well, what's an example of that? Right in here. It's still money flowing, and I want you to see that. And the more and more you do this, the more and more you're going to see it. There's a sideways, there's a stage one, there's a breakout. It barely lasted, it came back down. That's not a good money flow, right? Tried it again, tried the same thing. This one went a little further. But as you notice, as you're trying to interpret the money flow, which is this pattern right here, you're going to notice tops and bottoms do the same thing. The moving averages give us insight into the possibility, is this a top or is this a bottom? When it's a top, it does the same thing every top. And when it's a bottom, it does the same thing every bottom. But you can have false tops and false bottoms. You can have runaways to the upside and you can have runaways to the downside. And then you'll have some stocks that just move in these perfect money flow patterns. And that's where you make your money, man. But if we're looking at this, you see how I put in this box up here? And I didn't really go into a box yet, but a box is 4 days. We need 4, if you think about a box, it's simple, right? We need 4 corners. Well, in a box, you need 4 bars to even begin to think it's a box. And as that box develops, we can start drawing it. And as long as it fills in, like you'll notice, you'll start to fill it in as the days go forward. Do we know for certain it's going to go down? No, it might go up. And I posted this on Bitcoin yesterday. You say, where's Bitcoin going? I don't know. There's an airplane. I know over time it's going to go up. You say, well, how do you know? Well, that's the money flow. Assets that produce cash flow, assets that can grow, assets that can appreciate, go up over time. More and more people buy them. There's inflation, any number of reasons. We don't need, that's a whole nother class. But so the money flow is letting us interpret it. So look, when price broke, it's just noise after noise. When price broke below this box, and we're looking at this pattern, there's your signal. And so as you do this more and more and more and more, repetition is the mother of skill. And as you're watching and you're watching and watching and watching, you're going to notice these broken boxes. Let me show you one that's very interesting. Let's see. We're going to get to the RSI. DKNG on Friday have been putting in what we would call a stage 1 box. Now, if you're looking at the pattern, I want you to see something. This is where money flow is not perfect. And sometimes people are, what do I do? Well, it depends, man. So we had all this support, and we haven't really talked about support. The easiest way to explain support to someone who's never looked at support is it's memory. Meaning wherever price has been before, it tends to go again. And often, if it's a far out price or a way down low price, it gets hung up like a web. It's like it catches it. Think of it, it's like sticky, and it tends to hold it. And what'll happen when you see that, like that day there is exactly that day there, and we can start. You can almost draw this line. Now, it's nothing magic, and it doesn't have to do it. And a lot of times, it's really a self-fulfilling prophecy, to be honest, man. Well, as it does it, it starts to build, remember we said, a box. Now, other people call these zones of accumulation. They could call them, you can call them by any names. I keep shit simple, and it's a box. And so as price goes forward, you're going to start to see, notice we haven't even talked about the 5-day and the 10-day moving average, but if you notice, they start to turn. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that turn, because that turn is telling me, hey, this thing is going under stage consolidation, right? This is a stage 1. It's moving forward. So if I can go and have some way of trying to determine value, and for me, I just outsource that shit to analysts. It ain't that. If you were going to look for a car, you get on Google, you go to Carvana, you could find the price. Everyone can figure out the price of a house, right? You go look and you look at the prices all around you, and you can go, I wonder what this is worth. What we got? 85. Making sure YouTube's working, man. So we can determine the value of price pretty easy, right? Well, look, as this box was going, look what happened. It broke it. It broke it. So what would that tell me? Well, if I'm following the money flow, if I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this chart, what am I going to do? I assume it's going to go where it went before. Where did it go before? Well, we get our little line out. We come over here and we put it over here. All right. Now we got a target right here. So if you're a short seller and you're playing to the short side on the money flow, right? What does that tell you? Broken box, right? If you're wanting to trade it to the short side, what does that tell you? There's your short position. It broke. Where would you have a stop? Up here. So if you're wanting to play or trade and swing trade that tight, you could. Now, I don't tend to take any shorts when the overall market is in an uptrend. Why? Because the wind's at my back. What I assume is more likely to happen is this is going to turn around and come back into the box. That's what happens most of the time when the market's in an uptrend and you get these little flash downtrends. So, and my time frame is probably bigger than a lot of people, but if you're purely swing trading, that would be right there. That would be a breakdown. That would be right here. The stage 1 turned into a stage 3. Just like so this stage 1 basically turned back into a stage 3, and down we go. And it can be the other way around. So let me show you the opposite of this. So this is, it sold off, it went sideways, we're expecting it to break up, and it doesn't. It breaks down, creating a new stage 4. Well, let's look at the opposite of that. Remember, everything in the money flow is the yin and yang, man. There's opposites on everything. So when you're watching this, yeah, so DraftKings has a lot of upside potential. So here's the exact opposite of what we saw. You're starting to see a box being built to the upside on Bitcoin, right? That was our high day, but our box is coming in right now, right around in there. And now, you could take it up to here. Because that came right back down, that tells me the box is more like right here. And what do we see happening? The moving averages are what? Coming together. And down comes the RSI. When the RSI goes green, and we haven't talked about this, it's called the Relative Strength Index. What that's allowing us to do is to look at this pattern. Can we visually see price moving in stages? If you say yes, cool. Where's the 20-day moving average? Where's price in relation to the 20-day moving average? And if you have the newsletter, go to page 9. I kind of give the breakdown of this. But if you have the book, we get into more detail. What I'm looking for is where is price in this pattern? And then where are these indicators in this pattern? Because I want them all to be exactly the same every time. Right? I'm not that smart a guy. So if I can find the pattern, and so what are we seeing? Now, has this broke down? No. But let's say you're like, well, Bitcoin's going to 200,000. Okay, that may be true, and I agree with you. But in the meantime, where's price been before? Well, it's been there. It's been there. It could easily come back to here, 53, 54, and what? Still be doing the money flow, and yes, still hit 100K by the end of the year. Do you get that? This pattern is organic, man. And so when we were looking at DraftKings, I think DraftKings were $60, $70. Man, it might go through 10 money cycles of doing this before it even gets to it. It might do 10 of these before it even gets to it, man. Now, this is something that may confuse you. You may, let's say you were underwater on this. Let me give you an example. Now, this takes a little maturity to get this, and I don't mean as an adult. I mean just as a trader. This was CLSK. When it broke and ran, this is a big run, dude. It went from $11 to $17. That is a huge, huge run. Would it be crazy if it came back to where it was before? So we have two levels. When I get two levels that close, I usually split the difference. That's just something I personally do. I usually go right around in there. I try to see, does it touch points other places? And if you look, the average of this is about right in there. This is not science, man. This is just rough zones, okay? We're not trying to get to the penny. It's nothing like that, right? So would it be unusual for this thing to pull back into here? No, that'd be completely normal within the confines of the money flow. There's stage one. It was confirmed right there. There's the breakout. Now it's run up. What if you're under, look at that reversal candle. Whenever you get a cross, it's almost always a reversal candle. Look at that. So what happens now? What happens now? What if you're underwater here? You say, but Gerald, I'm still underwater. I know. That don't matter. It depends on how you're going to trade, and you got to think on this for a second. That RSI is extreme. What that tells you is this is not going to keep going. The chances of this continuing to go and go and go, it's possible. And so we always want to play that. I like to play both sides. I like to talk out of both sides of my mouth, man. Meaning I want to take some off and then hope it keeps going. But let's say it doesn't and it pulls back. Well, that pullback could take 2-3 weeks. It could take 2 or 3 weeks. In the meantime, your oil stocks are running. You trim those in 2 weeks or something and you bring it back to this. But what people get caught up on is where they bought it. And they're like, I'm going to trim it and I'm still underwater. Okay. Bro, the stocks don't care where you bought it. If you start making trading decisions based on where you bought it, you're out of the money flow. Because where you bought it has nothing to do with the cycle. If the money flow is topping out, it's topping out. Now you may elect to hold it into that. Right? You can do that. I do that a lot. I do that a lot, but that don't mean it ain't coming down. It's going to come down. Whenever that RSI goes extreme, you can almost with certainty bet it's going to pull back, man. Now, same to the opposite. So what I'm looking for, really only three things I care about on the RSI. The extreme lows, right here, these, and these. I really don't care about what's going on in here. Sometimes people try to, Gerald, the RSI is at 46. That don't mean shit to me. I don't care if the RSI is at 46. Is it in an extreme position? That's all I care about. Is it coming out of an extreme position? Because I know if it comes out, it could be a runaway. So we could have a stage 1, stage 2 run up, stage 3, and then it runs up again, and then it comes over, and then it runs up again. That's what we hope for. But guess what? It could do that to the opposite. I'll give you an example. Look at Budweiser. I mean, it's like, damn, dude, can you go down any more? Jesus. And you see it over here. Runs down, and look. When that RSI goes extreme, what does it do? It stops dropping. It stops dropping, guys. And it starts to go sideways. And what does that do? It works off this RSI just enough to make another run down where it went extreme. And then what? Starts to go sideways. And so you get this runaway to the downside where it creates these boxes to the downside, man. Look, This is a runaway to the downside. And if you notice, most of the action happens on the other side of the 20, man. We get a fake breakout, and what does it do? It goes down again, right? And we had it again. It just keeps doing it, And at a certain point, I mean, damn, the thing's going to get low enough. But this is a runaway to the downside. This is an absolute runaway to the downside. You'll have these to the upside. What's one to the upside? BX is one that's run for a long time. So look at this. You get the stage 2 breakout. It runs, starts to pull back. Look, what's it doing? It's working off that RSI. So this is kind of what Bitcoin's most likely going to do. It's going to pull back into that 20. It'll work it off just enough that it gives it room to run again. That's all these little pauses are, man. It just works it off. And the more it stays above the 50 and price goes sideways, creating that box effect. You see the boxes? Some of them get a little hard to spot, the boxes, but the more and more and more you do this, and you want to go back into the past and draw them so that you can be in flow. It wasn't 4, but it was a box. So you can be in flow with the stock, right? And so what do you got? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 1. Look at that breakout. Stage 2. Where's it going to go? Right where it went before. And look at the RSI. Bam, bam, in 73. So what do we know is about to happen? It's probably fixing to slow down right around where it was before and start to go sideways. Well, if we're buying holders, if you're a buying holder, shit, I just want to buy these, man. Right? That's all I want to buy. So if I'm watching Walmart and we're watching with the money flow, and the guy says, well, I don't need to know all that. I'm a buying holder. Yeah, you do, man. Don't be dumb. Like, seriously, just from what I just showed you right now, if you learn the RSI, you would never buy this. So when you have your friends that are buying it and it's on an RSI and it's green, you have dumb friends, okay? These are stupid people. Now, they might be smart. Maybe they went to college. Maybe they don't, but they're dumb, okay? Don't listen to them about stocks. These are people chasing things. You say, how do I know if I'm chasing it? If the RSI is extreme, you're chasing. You're chasing money, okay? Now, that doesn't mean, like, you could be a day trader and you're on a lower time frame than me. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on a daily chart. Well, if we drop to a 5-minute chart and that goes extreme, hello, like, it's the same thing. The money flows fractal. It don't matter what time frame we're on. Let's see. There we go. So all I'm doing when I look at this, when I watched Walmart, the moment this stage 4 decline started, here's what I assume. We're going to go where we were before. What I mean is, where are boxes where price got hung up? You see this one in here, right? It's really more of a box area. I mean, it's a zone. If that one breaks, where's the next one? Right? Right down into here. And look exactly what it did, man. Came down to it, never built sideways, and just broke down, stopped. We get 4 candles, boom, sets up. That's a buy signal. So for me, remember, I'm looking for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Price is above my trigger, that red dotted line, the 5-day exponential. And so as I'm watching the pattern, I'm seeing a sell-off, the beginnings of a stage 1. The beginning of a stage 1. As this matures, what I want to do is then go look and say, okay, is this stock overvalued or undervalued? If you say, well, it's undervalued, we think it's worth up here. Okay, cool. So the pattern of price movement is also aligning with the value of the stock. And let's say the analysts say, oh, this is worth like $1.60, $1.70. Cool. Well, all I'm looking for, the money flow says price will go where it's been before, right? Right around there. Look where it stopped to. Right on that, man. Now, remember, when you get these zones that are super close to each other, these are 2 boxes super close. I usually split the middle, which is what I did right there. And look where it stopped, man. Right on the middle, dude. Bam. Incredible. Look, RSI goes extreme. So as I watched this on every stock, I'm just asking myself, one, is it what kind of company is it? What sector is it in? Anything you're going to buy, you need to know what sector is this stock in. Ask yourself that. If you do that on every stock you buy over a very short period of time, you're going to learn all about the different sectors of the S&P 500. And if your sector is going down, any stocks you buy are going to go down. Why? That's the wind. If you're in a sector that's going up, high tide lifts all boats, low tide lowers all boats. That's the basic philosophy. Now, can you have outliers? Can you have speedboat? Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying as a general rule, if you decided, hey, I want to buy train stocks and train stocks are going down, you're not going to get very far. Look at utility stocks here. We've been buying these. Doesn't that pattern look familiar? So as I'm watching the money flow play out, here, there's my top, there's my bottom, there's the stage one. So as I'm watching this and I see, okay, what happened? Stage 4 decline, price went to where? Yeah, basically went to where it was before, and then it starts to move sideways. And as it starts to move sideways, what do we do? I'm like, okay, cool, a box is forming, and I'm obviously on this side of the pattern. Price sold off, now we're going this way. And what am I waiting for? This over here. I'm waiting for the stage 2 breakout. So the way I start to do it, there are no commissions, like we're not paying. So in the old days, I would buy once, I would buy twice. And if you read my book, I talk about buying stage 1, buying stage 2. Well, we can nibble these days. Shit, I could buy 5 shares today, 3 tomorrow, 4 the next day, a couple more. Let this thing build. The more it builds out, the more I trust it. It starts to make a push. I put some more on. It breaks out. Cool, put some on. Holds the breakout. I add a little more. Once it breaks, it's over, man. The buying's done. Now what is my goal? My target's where it's been before. I'm looking for 35. Look at the RSI. We still got plenty of room on the RSI. This thing probably is going to $36. So my target would be right around the middle. When I say target, I want to start downsizing the trade, meaning I want to de-risk. The more money I make, the less risk I want to take. And what I mean is I want to start taking down the risk. So as the price climbs higher, I want to take down the shares so that as it rolls over, remember, these rollovers take weeks and months. People get all weirded out by one day. I really don't give a shit about one day. It's a collective period of days. Look how long that was. That was like a month long. It started August 16th, and it didn't break the box until August 13th. That is 1 month up here. That would take me 5 seconds to analyze the chart. And then there's the break of the stage 4. What do we do now? Nothing. And then all of a sudden a box starts to build. Now what are we doing? Well, we're thinking about putting it back on. And we want to ride the waves up, downsize it, avoid the down or own less shares to then catch the breakout. And that's the basic. Obviously it doesn't always work so simple, so pretty. But you see it over here with Walmart, right? Same thing. Down it went. Now it's breaking up. Look at Exxon, man. Look at these oil stocks. Same thing, right? Got tricky over here. There's the stage 4, started to go sideways, and it broke down again. Came back, built another one. XLU is a better example. Oh, that was utilities. What's up, Ashton? Let's see. Yeah, well, that's what the stage building is about, man. So by requiring a stock to put in a box. So yeah, a fallen knife means if you just see red, that's a fallen knife. It's just not stopping. We want to stop and go sideways. That's what I'm looking for. I need at least 4 days like that. Some stocks may not give you 4 days. If it stops and I look to the left and there's support, I'll borrow a day, almost like a wild card. and I'll start to nibble. And I'll just start to nibble. Add a little bit, add a little bit, add a little bit, add a little bit. What's up, Ashton? And, we're waiting on that breakout, man. Let's see. Where's Palantir right now? We see the pattern playing out here in Palantir. Some of these stage 4s will not last that long. And one thing you should do is go back over your chart as you're looking back over your chart and see how long do they tend to pull back. A pullback that goes to an extreme, for me, I like a lot better than a pullback that barely pulls back. It's just me. And then as the stage builds, what am I doing? I start to put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. There's my breakout. Now what? I'm assuming it's going to go where it went before, man. And it does exactly that. So then what? It's banging up on these highs. Well, that's where you got to make your decision, man. You got to decide. So for me, I would call this a completed swing trade. We talked about this. It completed the cycle. It went from stage 1, it broke out, it ran up, it created a stage 3. That's a completed swing trade. So if you're swing trading, you're going to start taking most of your money off the table. You're done. If you're position trading, I like to take some off the table so that I can add to other positions, but I'm probably going to hold that position, understanding that I'm probably going to get a stage 4 decline. Now, the only reason I would do that is if I think over time this thing is worth 30, 40, 45. Let's say I think this is worth $50. Well, I don't want to get out of the whack, man. So the less money you have, the more you can play with this idea, I think. If you have less money, you probably need to do your swings. Get in your trade, put it on, run it up, execute it, take your money off, and get out on the breakout, and then let this thing set up again. If you have more money, then position trading, I think, becomes a little more lucrative because you have the ability to wait out some of these downtrends, and you're like, cool, I'm going to start adding. And so as you look back over a chart like Palantir, you're probably adding here, you're adding here, right? And you're adding down here. You see how over time, right, that's drifting higher. You hear me say. Quality companies, stocks that produce cash flow, stocks that are growing. I'm not talking about shit that ain't growing. If shit ain't growing and they're not producing cash flow, then it's not a qualified asset. It's going to go down. But if shit's growing, if they have a legitimate business, if it's an asset people want to hold, like real estate, Bitcoin, the index funds, a dividend stock, an Exxon, a Palantir, an Uber, an Airbnb, a Netflix, an Amazon, as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, over time, that stock is going to continue to climb higher and higher and higher. Now, the moment they break their contract and over a long period of time, growth slows, sales decline, then yeah, it's going to continue down until a point where it's become so valuable because it's gone too low. And you're going to see the market react, run up too high, run down too low, run up too high, run down too low. And that pendulum, that swing that we watch is basically the money flow, man. Wow, we covered a lot, bro. The S&P 500 is made up of 11 sectors, main sectors. There's like probably 200 if we get into the micro sectors, the video games, the people that make the back-end platforms for video games, the people that process the credit card transactions for video games, people who create, like, you could get down in the weeds, you could get into security stocks, you could get into transportation stocks, and then you could get into bigger sectors where it's like technology, right? Technology is huge. That could be all of those sectors. It could be video games, it could be healthcare stocks, anybody working, like, so the bigger, you can look at pictures, you can look at big, what is wrong with these guys, man? Let me take this guy. You can look at the big picture, but then inside of this big picture, you can go lower and lower and lower. Now, let me help you with something. A mistake I made, and I see a lot of new people make, a lot of young people make. You get too down in the weeds on one sector. I could count on my hand the number of you guys that lost money in weed stocks, because all you're thinking about is weed stocks. Oh, I got to buy weed stocks. I got to buy a whole bunch of weed stocks. Good. Go fucking broke. You can't do that, man. You can't just decide I'm just buying this one sector and everything is about. That means your brain is too small to handle the big picture. If you're buying weed stocks, that's great, but you're also looking at oil stocks, and you're also looking at retail stocks, and you're also looking at, like he said, fintech stocks, and you're also looking at bonds, and you're also checking out Bitcoin. If you just try to focus on that one little thing, you could have an example. We won't get. Let me give you an example on that. If you go to Exxon and you pull up a weekly chart, remember we talked. First off, let's look where it's stopping. So while you're trying to chase, whatever your favorite whatever is, in the meantime, fucking oil's ripping. And so you want exposure to that. And let's look at something here. Look at this low. Is the low. Look at this high. Is the high. Isn't that crazy, man? Even with inside of the money flow, you're going to have mini money flows, man. It's pretty wild as you sit and look at it. You're going to have all kinds of mini money flows within the money flow, man. And so when this went, where did we expect it to go? Well, we figured it would stop right around in here. Well, once it blew through that one, what's the next target? Where it was before. Where's that? Right there. I'm looking for boxes. Did it blow through that one? Yeah, take some off. Where's the next one? Up here. And so as this stock moves higher, if I'm swing trading, I'm downsizing the trade, man. As I begin to make money, my risk increases. As I begin to make money, the risk increases. Does that make sense? The risk increases. So I want to downsize that. I want to downsize that risk. As above, so below. No kidding. Let's see. What's up on YouTube? Got the YouTube crazies there. Isn't that what Dave Ramsey calls his people, the crazies? YouTube crazies or some shit? Let's see. We're speaking on index funds. Really, the best time to buy index funds is when the RSI goes extreme. That's the best time to buy them. So let's look at Snap. That was one I was going to bring up. Now, if you just ran out and started buying Snap because it sold off, you would be what I call one of the stupid people. You think, oh man, this guy's mean. No, I'm trying to help you, man. Don't be stupid. Stupid to choice. Being in the financial markets, every time you do something stupid, you did it by choice. Like no one picked up your phone and clicked buy. You did that. No one told you you did that. And when you first come in, I don't care if you're a doctor, you're stupid. I don't care if you're fucking the smartest kid on a computer, you're still stupid. You don't know this stuff. This game's being played for 300 years. 5,000 years ago, they were trading gold. They've been trading oil long before you were born, and long after you're dead, they'll be trading it. You don't know shit. So the moment you get your mind around, I really don't know a lot, right, it's going to help you, because you're going to you're not going to make these decisions like, oh, fuck it, I'm going all in on pot stocks. Okay, dummy. And so you choose if you want to, whatever you want out of the market, it will give it to you. So if you want to be a degenerate fucking gambler playing weekly option calls, cool, it'll do that for you. If you want to make it a roulette wheel, it's available. If you want to make income by buying dividend stocks, it's there for you. If you want to make it brainless, I just want to buy index funds and not look at it, it's available. Anything you want from the stock market, it's there for you. And you're like, I would like to be really stupid and lose all my money. It will cater to you. It will let you do that. Right? It'll do that. And so if you really want to be a good trader, stop trying to make money and try to execute trades. Let me say that again. There is no profession on planet Earth where if you were going to be a doctor, they go, here's a fucking scalpel. When the guy comes in, just cut him open and start going at it. You don't do that as a doctor. You go train. If you wanted to be in the NBA, even if they drafted you from high school and you know how to play basketball, sit the fuck down and learn the plays. We'll put you in as we feel like you can play. And you learn. And you learn a skill set. If you want to be an accountant, you don't go, oh, I'm an accountant, and then next day start doing people's taxes. It's not how it works, man. You go through a process of learning. But for some reason, people come into my business of trading and investing and think, oh, I think I can fucking do this. You can't. And for some reason, they think, well, I was a great golfer. I was a great neurosurgeon. I was a great truck driver. Therefore, I must be a great stock trader. No, it's not how it works at all. And so no matter how smart you are, here's the beautiful thing. If you're not that smart, it's okay. Because you ain't got to be. It's just patterns, man. And so the clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer you get what you're trying to accomplish, then we can narrow it down and we can stop looking at bullshit that ain't got nothing to do with what you're trying to do. So a guy to say to me, Gerald, did you see DWAC? No, I trade the money flow. And they talk as if I missed something. I didn't miss nothing. That's not what I do. I don't walk down the street and see a skyscraper being built and go, oh man, why didn't I buy that skyscraper? I don't buy skyscrapers. I don't have the money to buy skyscrapers, so I don't give a fuck about skyscrapers. You get what I'm saying? One day when I have the money, I'll care about skyscrapers. Right now, I buy houses. So I care about houses. And they say, well, what about trailer parks? I don't buy trailer parks. I buy houses. So I need to know about houses. So I do three things. I position trade, I swing trade, and I do buy and hold. And you got to know each one. So if we're looking at Snapchat, this is day one of a sell-off. So all you guys that ran out and bought Snapchat, go ahead and put on your head, dummy. Complete dumbass. This is the day one. This is the very first day of this sell-off. And this is the epitome of what they mean by buying a fallen knife. You just bought a falling knife, and it's going to cut your ass. Because it's more than one day. This could take 2 months of going down. This could slow grind for the next 3 months going down, 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 down. There's nothing that says this is a bottom. This is not a bottom. It literally broke through freaking, look, where's the previous low? It broke right through it, man. So what does that mean? It means it's going to the next one. Where's that? $52. So no, you don't buy it. You wait, man. That's if you're trading with any kind of strategy. Now, if you're just out there willy-nilly, shit, I just buy whatever drops I buy. I like to buy the losers, not the winners. So if it's like it's almost like the exact opposite of winning. You know? Like it's like, hey, I like punching myself in the face. Hey, baby, let's get ready for dinner. Hold on, I got to punch myself in the face. That's what that is. You don't buy that. You don't buy that. You got to let it stop. It's got to put in 4 days. Now, we can borrow a day if we look over and see support. I don't see support. You know, maybe it firms up here. Maybe not, man. So that's an example of, that's day one of a stage 4 decline. Don't be dumb, man. What does the stock look like that stops money flowing? I get this a lot. Look at this. Look at BNGO. I mean, maybe you call these tiny little money flows, but it's just drifting down, 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 down. Almost, but the only thing to our favor here is that now we can start to draw support lines. Do you take gains from Bitcoin? I guess if you don't believe in Bitcoin, you could take gains. If you like to pay taxes, sir, and you don't believe that Bitcoin's going higher, take gains. This is where you got to get into clarity, man. It depends on. There's nothing wrong with trading Bitcoin. I meet people that trade Bitcoin. That's fine. You can trade it like you trade a stock. Do you short? Sure, I short. You should learn how to go long before you short, though, dude. Hey, learn how to fucking execute a trade to the upside first. Like, be like a successful trader for a while and then worry about shorting. Like, complete some completed swing trades successfully. Like buy on the breakout, set your target, let it execute, and do that a bunch of times. Then worry about shorting, man. The market goes up 70% of the time. So it's like walking into a casino and you go, hey man, which game in here has the worst possible odds? I want to play that one. Give me the game that if I do win, I win a bunch. But most of the time, I'm going to lose. Do you have that game? Because I like to punch myself in the fucking face as much as possible. That's the game, you know. And now, once you've been playing it a minute and you have some skills and you've been in the business and you've executed and you understand sectors and sector rotation and how index funds and all the different once you learn all of that, sure, you're a mature enough trader. But this idea, like I've been trading 3 weeks and I'm trying to short it's stupid, man. I try not to even speak to people who do that. Like, dumbness rolls off on you. If you hang out with a lot of dumb people, you'll be dumb. Even as an influencer, if you spend a lot of time with people that are stupid, you start to get stupid. And that's why I'm like immediately just calling it out. Hey, you're stupid. Please step away from me. It rubs off. And that isn't an intellectual thing. There's a lot of really educated, stupid people in the world. They have degrees and they're dumb. I met with a lawyer yesterday and we started talking. He's 60-something years old, been a lawyer his whole life. And I said, you have any Bitcoin? And he said, no. I said, well, what do you invest in? He says, nothing. Nothing? You're not invested in nothing? He said, nothing. Okay. Guess who's not my lawyer? I mean, the guy makes bad decisions. How do I know he's going to make good decisions as a lawyer? You say, well, he could be a good lawyer. Yeah, that's true. He could be a good lawyer and just bad at investing. Just don't invest. You know, most people do not invest. Most of your friends are not investing. They're not. Buying GameStop is not investing. That's trading. Nothing wrong with trading, but most people are not investing. Most of you on here are not investors. You're not. You think you are. You're not. You think you are, but you're not. You're really not. Can you do technical analysis on Alter, please? Yeah, bro. Let's stop the whole fucking class so we can look at your stock. We're going to stop the whole class for his stock, guys. Let's stop the whole class for you, sir. Let's stop teaching so this guy can see his stock. All right, sir. We've stopped the whole class to look at your stock, you greedy bastard. So after this, if you don't have my book, PayPal it to me or I'm going to fucking block you from my lives from here on out. He says, please turn off comments. Please don't read them. How about that? So I'm going to look and see after this if you bought my book. And if you didn't, I'm going to block you from following me. Stage 1, Stage 2 breakout. Where does price run? Where it was before. Exactly what it did. Right? So there's your 3. It respects the RSI. High, low. There's your stage 3. Stage 4. And now you broke the box. Can you... Yeah, just don't read them, bro. Hey, how about you guys stop telling me what the fuck to do? How about that? Let's see. All right, man. This was Friday. We had a lot of growth stocks get smashed. I would not cut this because of that. That's pretty tiny. But technically, this is a stage 4 decline. Technically, this is a stage 4 decline. Sideways, up, sideways, down. The new stage 1 right here looks like it's turning into another stage 4 decline. I would give this a minute, man. I would give this a minute before I bailed on this because Friday was a little wanky. Very possible we come right back into the box on Monday. If that happens, that's super bullish. Your first target is right around $16. But then you need to go see what is this company, Terrain, and see what it is. You know, what do the analysts have on this stock? I mean, you're trading below the 200. Once you get caught below that 200, man, it probably is not getting back above it, bro. If it's okay with you, I'm going to go back to my class now. Let's see. says, GP, what are alternatives for people in Europe that can't buy the UTSL? Well, the UTSL is the XLU. It's the triple leverage version. So you can buy the XLU. You can buy the XLU. Yeah, a lot of background noise. I'm outside, bro. You can buy the XLU. That's a good one. They're short and it's a meme stock. Yeah. Man, you guys are obsessed with these meme stocks, huh? It's amazing that I've made money and I don't even pay attention to them. I really don't. Every once in a while, stocks that I like get caught up as being meme stocks. Like Nokia was caught up in there. This is one I put out. We've been, we'll see. Price targets in the 630s. This is one I like to trade. I wish you guys would go all next week and not look at any meme stocks. That would be awesome. It'd be a very grown-up thing to do. Just don't look at any of them, man. Just find the stocks you like. Let's look at Prague. I sold a little Prague. I mean, it's breaking through. I mean, Prague is going to 380, man. So as I look at this one got ridiculously cheap, right? See this big smash down? I actually had people about to cry on this. Very, very upset. Very upset. Oh, it's terrible. Kids can't go to college now. It's terrible, Gerald. My stock went down. Okay. And what do I tell them? You can trade your way out of it if you know how to trade, right? Or you could just eat it if you like to eat losses. This came because they sold a whole bunch of shares, right? Now this is a big ass down move. All these biotechs had gotten smashed, and then look what we've seen. Just a hell of a comeback. So it's going to go where it was before, and then if it breaks through that one, which it is, where's it going to go? Where it was before. I'd be downsizing this though. Now some of you guys are sitting on all penny stocks. All penny stocks. That's dangerous, man. You will learn that lesson in a hard way if you sit on all penny stocks, bro. And we're not going through them. They're all stupid. APR. We got a whole bunch of these. I'm in a bunch of these too. Penny stocks have been in a real bad place for a while, man. So let's look at, there was one I was going to look at for, all right, my man asked, if you can't do the UTSL, what can you do? Well, the UTSL, right, is a leverage product of the XLU. So you can do the XLU. And if you see this, you're seeing a perfect money flow pattern, right? I mean, this is picture perfect. Well, inside of the XLU are stocks. Stocks. So the UTSL is a triple leveraged version of the XLU. So instead of buying options, you could buy the triple leveraged fund, and then your options don't expire, right? You ever think about that? If you buy the triple leverage, it doesn't expire, man. So that's the risk you run with options. So if you're newer, you might try that. But what else could we do besides UTSL? Well, we could do the XLU. You could buy options on the XLU. That would give you leverage. Or just buy the XLU and look, it went up, right? But inside of this are other stocks. Southern, right? What stocks make Southern came down though. Look at this money flow pattern. It's perfect, right? What else we got? Duke. So all these stocks make up this index fund. What am I doing? Right? And you see the pattern. Sideways up, sideways down, sideways, and now we're moving up. Where's it going to go? 107, 108 range, right? See what I'm saying? So if you can't trade you got to work around it. Go to the index. If you can't do the leverage index, go to the regular index. If you can't do that, go down to the stocks that make up the index. Because the stocks that make up the index are going to be what makes up the XLU, which is what makes up the UTSL. So just start peeling it like an onion. Just pull it back a little, pull it back a little, pull it back a little. And eventually you're going to get to where you can trade something inside of that sector, man. So super important as you go about your trading, keep it simple, man. Start with this, the picture. What's most important, if you have my book, The Money Flow, what's most important is this right here. Can you see this playing out? No matter what time frame, 5 day, 10, 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, all you Forex junkies with your 4 hour charts, right? With your 4 hour charts, you're going to see this pattern. If I was swing trading Bitcoin, I would probably do it on a 4 hour chart. I don't swing trade Bitcoin. If I was, I would probably use a 4 hour chart. And this is how I would swing trade it. I would wait for the stage one. I didn't say my buy and hold, but I'd wait for the stage one. I'd buy the breakout. As soon as it got extreme, I'd start taking it down. When the 5 and 10 crossed, I would get out almost all of it. And that's how that would be a completed swing trade. And I'd do the same over here. That's how I would do it. There's we're right around here. Start taking it down. I don't want to take the last little bit till that crosses, right? The 5 and the 10 cross. Didn't happen. So guess what? Some of the trade keeps going. And this is what will mess people up. They're like, oh, I shouldn't have took it down. It's moving higher. It's supposed to move higher. The reason the money flow has you take a little off is just in case it keeps going. Not so you can bitch about you shouldn't have took it off. Meaning we hope it keeps going. This was about downsizing the trade and locking it in a pattern, like the same systematically every time. So when you play football and they call blue 1946, whatever, you know what that means. You run your pattern, man. You run your pattern. And sometimes you catch the ball and get tackled immediately. Sometimes you catch the ball and you keep running a little bit. Right? We don't know. And we let that run. But until they cross, which was over here, as far as a swing trader, I'm downsizing, and I'm out. So if I was swing trading Bitcoin, which I can't think of anything dumber to do, but if you just wanted to, I don't know why you'd swing. It goes up 400% a year, man. This is a weird thing to me. If I said, hey, bro, I got an asset that goes up 400% a year and has for every year for like 10 years. And your first thought is, I want to swing trade it. What is wrong with you? Like, what happened? What happened when you were a kid that if someone said to you, this goes up 400% every fucking year for 10 years, and your first thought is, well, I want to move in and out of it. I want to move in and out and in and out, in and out. Why don't you just buy a shit ton and let it go up 400%? And then when it sells off, buy a shit ton and let it go up 400%. And then when it sells off, buy a shit ton and let it go up 400%. But in order to do that, you have to actually believe that it goes up. So conviction, if you play it that way. And I'm just playing with you, but I have several friends that very successfully trade Bitcoin, and that's all they trade. And they're doing it on a 1 hour chart, like 1 hour or 15 minute. So you could drop down to a 15 minute. I mean, to me, it's crazy town. It goes up, dude. Look at the 15 makes no sense. So 1 hour would be as short as, I don't know. I bet some of you guys are on a 5 minute chart. Look at this. Look how different these are. This is a Bitcoin chart on a 5 minute chart. And look what it looks like. Down, right? But if we look at it on a daily chart, looks a lot different, right? Looks a lot different. So, but again, the money flow is fractal, man. I make fun of people of different time frames, but it works on I don't want to say any time frame. You got to find the time frame that it's flowing. Usually 1 hour, they're on a 1 minute getting them. Yeah, 1 minute is crazy town, man. Especially in Bitcoin. And man, if you got it figured out, that's fine. Do what you do. But at the end of the year, look back and say, if I had just bought Bitcoin and sat on it, would I be doing better? And almost everybody would say yes. It's crazy how high it goes, man. To me, it's crazy. It's crazy town, man. Yeah, BXRX. That's the one. That stock is awful. GP, what do you like this week? Midterm swings like 2 to 3 months out. Man, I'm going to be honest. Everything I like started selling off on Friday. I'm watching Bitcoin closely. It looks like we're about to roll over here. I thought we may rip this weekend. We'll see. I really don't plan to sell any. It should pull back into here. I like DraftKings, but it sold off on Friday into the close. All these growth stocks. I'm sure Skills looks just the same. SKLZ. I don't know. We got to see Monday. No, that's a stage 2 breakout. I like Zillow. Zillow was breaking out. It was holding. Yeah, you're in a stage 2 breakout, sir. I like Zillow. I don't know, man. We got to see what happens. I got to see what happens. Friday's was pretty ugly and brutal, man. So that's it, man. That's all I got today. Appreciate everybody for listening. Hopefully I helped you. If you have my book, then you know what to do. If you don't have it, just hit my bio link. The indicators are always over here on page 9 of the thing. And then, I telegraph my moves delayed. And the reason I do this is hopefully try to help people interpret the book, So if you come over here, you'll see. And you should do this too, man. You should keep a trading log. Somehow you should keep a trading log, even if it's just simple, like just write down what you did. Like this is not back in the day when I was a nutcase, I would print off the fucking chart and I kept all the charts in a 3-ring binder and I would write on them adding to PayPal. That was the wrong move. Friday we got smashed. I'd go back and make my notes. Why did I add to PayPal? What was I thinking, right? Trimming coin hit first target. So if we look at coin, why was I trimming coin? You say, well, it's going a lot higher. I know it's going higher. But why was I trimming it? It hit my first target. What's, what? The RSI went extreme, man. Right? And we hit previous high, right? And there's another one right there. So we had 2 coming together real close. So what do? I take some down. Why? Shit, it might pull back, come into here. That could take a couple weeks. It could set up again, and we'll put more back on. And then we'll run it up, man. So this pattern is organic. It's changing every day. It's growing and changing. And you know what I mean? As it moves through, trying to work its way to, 300, 380. But that could take months. It could take 2 years, man. As we run through, get smashed, run up. And so, and if you're a buy and holder, let me give you a tip. Just buy stage 1s. Just buy the ones, man. If you just bought the ones, look at this. You bought the bottom, you bought the bottom, you bought the bottom, and now what? You just let it be, man. And, I don't get as detailed on my notes as I used to just because I actually stick to the strategy the best I can. Every once in a while, I'll call an audible, and that's usually just from experience talking. Trimmed CLSK, trimmed ramp, trimmed gush. What's going on there? What do I mean trim? Well, for you, it depends on how much money you need. It's 10 or 20% for me. Why am I trimming this? It's a stage 3, ran up, and we already closed that down. But look, we're buying over here. We're buying the breakout. We let it go, and now it's building a stage 3. I want to take it down. Not all of it. I just want to take it down. It's impossible to know the bottom, though. No, it's not, dummy. It's not impossible. You can catch every bottom. You say, what do you mean? If it ain't the bottom, you can catch the next one. Meaning every bottom looks exactly the same. Price goes down and it stops dropping, puts in an anchor point, goes sideways and comes above the 5. Well, look, that was a stage 1, but it dropped again. All right, there's our bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 candles. Boom, we're buying again. Get it? So if it's not the bottom, you'll buy all the bottoms. Depends on how you want to trade it, man. I buy the bottom all the time, and I sell. He said, you can't know it's the top. Looks like the top to me. So if you're in the money flow, it don't matter if it's the top, it's a top. Look, there it is, right? How did we know this one was a top? It went sideways, the RSI went extreme, and price rolled over. What is this doing? RSI went extreme, price is going sideways, possibly going to roll over. Maybe it breaks out. What I don't know is direction. So when a guy tells me, you can't buy the bottom, I buy all the bottoms, sir. I've been doing it for a long, 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 long time. Of course you can. It just may not be the bottom or the top, but it will be a top or a bottom. I'll buy all of them. How about that? Boy, I wish I could free you from all that bullshit they put in your head about index funds and all that. It's a top. That's right. And it's a top for you. So I trade the money flow, man. I don't really care what else is going on around me. You know, if that stock is inside the money flow, then I'm trading it. If that stock's not inside the money flow, fuck that stock. I really don't care. I really do not chase stocks at all. You know, so, you know, I don't know. I just don't, man. I try to get ahead of the game. My stock version of Grant Cardone. I try to get ahead of it, man. You know, and through your research, you want to read Barron's, you want to follow the markets, you want to watch guys like Jim Cramer the first 10 or 15 minutes, you want to watch Fast Money, you want to listen to Barron's, some good podcasts. Like, make the flow of money and assets and stocks and real estate and interest rates, make that shit just part of your day. Like watching, none of you guys know all about sports. Don't understand PE ratios on dividend stocks. Know all about who's the quarterback of what team. Don't know what sectors of the S&P 500. Like shit that could actually help your family. Instead, you know all kind of baseball stats. Now, unless you're making a bunch of money with that shit, it's just useless information, man. So why not switch that mindset to shit that could make you some money? Now, if you're killing it in baseball gambling, then hello. Do what you do. Don't listen to me, man. I'm talking about regular people. Some of you guys know all kind of bullshit. Like, who is this and who's that and where this. And none of that makes you money, man. This can make you money. None of that can. I'm not against entertainment and sports. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But sitting around obsessed with some other rich people, like you know stats on rich people. What good does that do you, man? You need stats on you. You need stats on this stuff, man. Let's see. You need stats on you, man. All right, man. I love you guys. Appreciate it. If I can help you, just let me know. You guys be good.